Finish writing this line. Let's do finger exercises now. Now, due to the aggression of the Russian Federation, we are unable to resume offline education at school. Children need a safe environment. Shelters are needed because children are the white flowers of viburnum. They are our flowers. Oh, in the meadow red viburnum, bent down. For some reason, our glorious Ukraine is distressed. For some reason, our glorious Ukraine is distressed. There are constant air raid sirens that sound in the village. Constant. And the whole village can hear this air raid siren. We work. No one has canceled our work. For the second year in a row, our Korobochkinsky Lyceum has had distance learning. Like many institutions of Kharkiv region, we work online. It is time for everyone to understand that the invaders are destroying our kindergartens, schools, lyceums, gymnasiums for a reason. It is a part of Putin's satanic plan. Denazification, revenge for the desire of Ukrainians to be free from the Russian world and to build and develop their independent country. And it can be done only by educated people. That is why the enemies are trying to implement their devilish plan. To deprive the generation of young Ukrainians of the opportunity to study, methodically destroying, first of all, educational institutions, so that our children will not be able to go to their schools. In the conditions of the war, the situation is particularly dramatic for the primary school, where the youngest pupils have to study, work in groups, communicate with peers and teachers, all the things which are called the basics of a child's socialization. On June 9, 2022, our institution was damaged when 2 shells landed at once. 2 walls on the first floor were completely destroyed. The windows were blown out, the panes were broken, some classroom doors were flung open. They even were blown out, those doors. The roof of the school was damaged. It was extremely damaged. It is the date, which we will never forget, because it all happened that way. And that is how our modern institution, which we had for only 9 years, it had been renovated for us. It became unsuitable for teaching children again. As a result of enemy shelling, Korobochkinsky Lyceum was damaged. The educational institution nurtured with love by human hands is the pride of the village. It was equipped with modern technical means for learning. There were spacious, light classrooms, new furniture, a kitchen, a cozy canteen, an assembly hall with 350 seats. Everything above mentioned was immediately turned into a ruin by those non-humans. There is no electricity in the institution. Everything is broken. The conditions are terrible, and we cannot do anything there now. Finish writing this line. Let's do finger exercises now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now make fists. Release, clench as hard as you can. Release. Well done, wiggle. Wiggle your fingers. And we will write one more line and have a rest. Rest for a moment. Distance learning in the conditions of war is quite a challenge for teachers, their students and parents. Constant blackouts, problems with the internet and mobile connection, lack of necessary gadgets. In addition, a complex emotional state of children's anxiety also affects obtaining education. it is difficult to gain new knowledge in such conditions. Now, because of the aggression of the Russian Federation, we are unable to resume offline learning at school because, according to regulatory documents, a safe learning environment is required. And teachers try to provide children with knowledge, help them socialize, because, especially first graders, they don't have the opportunity to communicate with one another, get to know one another better, have real friends. I have only been to my school twice. We went to get textbooks the first time. Oh, the second time. And the first time we went to get copybooks. Rita, do you know the children from the class? Do you know them? Do you ever meet them? No, not yet. And also, high school students, the 11th grade, finish their studies in such dangerous conditions. They will no longer have such friendly relationship with their peers. We will be able to resume offline learning only if there is a bomb shelter. But letting children go to this bomb shelter is the same as letting them go to a dungeon. Conducting a normal way of learning, conducting a normal education is very difficult in modern conditions. And all because of Russian aggression, the so-called liberators who wanted to liberate us. What were we liberated from? From everything. From life, from buildings, from home, from loved ones. As a result, the house of my deputy headmistress on educational work, Irina Mykolaievna, was destroyed. Very much. They had bomb hits several times. A great grief befell her family. And that's why now she hasn't even moved into the house yet. It's very difficult for her. She is there somewhere, in a small adapted house in the summer kitchen. She conducts online lessons to children, conducts distance learning, restores the house on her own. I want to sit at desks with children. I want a teacher to be there. You can also play Lego bricks there during the break. Of course, we cannot start learning because children need a safe environment and a bomb shelter. The reconstruction of the institution will begin with building a bomb shelter, which we have under the Lyceum building. We have a very large basement there that can be rebuilt, and it will be done. But we understand that our children are forced to study in such conditions. Why do we need that shelter? Earlier, we did not need it because everything was normal for us. We didn't have a war. My teachers, who have already returned to the village, are also rebuilding their houses. Some of them live at their relatives' houses. More or less, they have already equipped something there. Some people have already restored their buildings. They are also carrying out an educational process. That means the process is going on, but still, it does not even enter the mind how this Russian peace came to us, which destroys everything. They don't care that there are children there. They even, I think, deliberately hit schools and kindergartens. When you start thinking about it all, it's kind of scary. They are non-humans who came to a foreign country. They came to a foreign country, they came to us. I have not seen or heard such pain as they have already caused, these Russians. And it is all very scary, because it does not fit into my head, soul, or heart. I drew pictures, gave them to volunteers, and they took them to the soldiers. Our tank and the second one. I painted the second one with a black marker. This tank is broken. I drew painted with purple, red, black. And our tank was with a flag too, storade, with upper and lower windows. Even before we all left, when we were still in the village, it was sometime in March, I communicated with the headmistresses, colleagues, and female colleagues from Kharkiv village, from Mospanoviv village, who were under occupation. And they told me that it was necessary to take everything that was valuable, so that some modern equipment remained. Thus, thanks to those headmistresses and their advice, I was able to save at least something. For about 2 days, while there was still such an opportunity, although we were constantly shelled, constantly, we went to take those documents or equipment from the institution, and there were the sounds of shots and explosions. When there is no electricity, there aren't any classes, are there? Does it happen? We will use Google Classroom and have classes there without a teacher. On your own, right? The girl nods. When our Ukrainian defenders made the Rashists go away from our village as far as possible, the number of residents increased. I began to restore, of course, the institution. I wrote in social networks, both to my fellow villagers and to other residents. On Facebook, in other groups, I asked for help so that we could at least clean up all that was destroyed. Because there was a lot of glass and a lot of bricks, there were remnants of shells. I asked for help, and we met for the first time on September 24. I remember the date, as it has just happened. It was Saturday, and a lot of people responded to my request. More than 100 fellow villagers came to help, including parents, including our students who had already graduated from the institution. Those were just people who had read all that. They came. I don't even know many of them. Well, there was a lot, and we took out about 8 large trailers. At least they freed up these aisles a little so that we could get to the classrooms. Get there somehow, because it was terrible. 2 walls were destroyed completely. It was all on the floor. Glass was everywhere. In other words, we did a very good job, and were able to clean the building very well for the first time. Then I asked for help again. We came 4 times and cleaned. Everyone, those who could, helped. Even children. We had lessons, and the children asked, "Can we come?" I say, "If your parents let you go, then come." And the children came. But what should we do when we have such an aggressive neighbor as the Russian Federation? We have to protect our children, take care of their safety, because children are the white flowers of viburnum. They are our flowers, and we must constantly care about their defense and safety. But we will raise that red viburnum, and we will cheer our glorious Ukraine up. Hey, hey,